Today I'd like to talk about how to make, for free, a cold frame that'll probably last you about 10 years and just be kind of temporary. This is its 10th year and it's finally started to actually have problems. So we'll take a look at what's going on here and my thoughts for the future, but first I wanted to show you how this structure was built. Part of the reason I ended up wanting to move it at this point is that I'm having a water problem here and I need to do some earthworks somewhere along here, and its location seems to be ideal, and if I'm going to be deconstructing it anyway, perhaps a different location overall or a completely different structure out of the same bricks is something it's something I'm wanting to at least consider. So what's the problem? Well, part of the back of the wall started to go. I caught it before it fell, but it was pretty obvious that it was going to start to fall. So if you were going to build this for a longer term, I would strongly advise making sure that these stagger, like so that there isn't just one seam going the whole way down, so that it's like this way and then this way. So that you keep a really good look at the pattern on your bricks so that you get that like staggered seam. Like here's one, and then here's one, and then here's one, and then here's one. So here there was only one batch of bricks that were bridging it and holding it up. Everything else, the seam was in the same spot. So eventually it started to lean. This is not in on a foundation or anything. There's no poured cement. What I did was I troughed out the square, measured it well, troughed it out a bit, and then stamped it down with my feet. I had Regis to help me. This was 10 years ago. And so the two of us did this together with some bricks off of FreeCycle or Craigslist. A lot of times people get lots of bricks for... A lot of times it's a major building project and they have to buy them in even batches, and they end up with like 50, 80, 100 left over out of like thousands, and they're hard to get rid of. So what you want to do then is watch for that on FreeCycle or whatever, and they'll come up. You just go get them. So I guess the cost of a tank of gas. I did also have a lid over top of this. So the reason it's the size it is that I had a wooden screen door that was this size, and so that's the measured size that I made my cold frame be. Okay, so the pieces of the door, there's a couple leaning right there. What I did was take that, and the only thing I paid for was some 4-inch PVC piping, which I still have in the shed, and put a screw through the PVC piping into the frame so that there's just a tube arching, and I put screen and stapled it into the wooden door frame. Just an outline frame, not like a solid door, just like for a screen door going around like a square. And so the screen kept the snow from coming the whole way in, held a little bit of the heat, but more importantly, for the kind of gardener that I am, which is kind of a lazy gardener, it let the rain in, because if I have to come out and water it, it's probably not going to happen. So that's what that was all about. You can see the afternoon sun in the wintertime is just right up there. Sorry if I just blinded you. And in the summertime, it goes from here to there. In the wintertime, it goes from there to there. And that's about what we get. And this, then, especially before I had this greenhouse and before the hedges were 12 foot tall, because at the time that I built this, the neighbor kept the hedges at, you can still see it, at ground level. So the sun still came in here very well in the afternoon. So it would get some solar gain on the westerly facing portion that would then hold heat overnight, at least a little bit. It allowed me to bring my seedlings out here and kind of like get them going. And it was a pretty easy structure. You can see that I did allow for this. I may have paid $2 for this. So like the whole structure is probably $6. Used construction stuff shop. I got some plastic window thing, and then I just lined up these bricks so that it would hold it in place, and you can see it's done a fantastic job of holding it in place. And the only trouble I'm having is that the heating and everything is just a flood down there all winter, and it's starting to make my porch move. My patio is starting to have weird angles and stuff, so I do want to move it, and I might decide to build something else out of the bricks. But I think 10 years with no problems is really nice for a like $6 investment. Maybe $7 if you count the screen I went over, that I went over the top with. And it's been nice. It's been pretty useful. It does have some slug problems sometimes, but in the early spring everything's still dormant when I really was using it a lot. I tried growing some tomatoes in here this past year, and they just got eaten alive by the slugs. So it's not like a summertime use thing, apparently. Probably also because it's one of the wetter spots in the yard. Like I said, I'm doing a flood right along here that I want to do some earthworks to take care of. So probably not least because of that reason. So yeah, that's what that is.